I advocate for dam removal. That can come with a lot of opposition because that means that we actually have to change what our energy consumption actually is as of right now, and also where the power is actually coming from.
It's from a story we brought you last week. Indigenous energy consultants share their perspective on Idaho's clean energy future. As you heard there, a representative from the Nez Perce tribe, they openly oppose the lower Snake River dams. They say it's for cultural reasons. Fishing the Snake River is a way of life for the Nez Perce and other Columbia River Basin tribes. And in a timely fashion, a leaked federal document outlines possible ways to conform to these requests, and most notably, how the country could shoulder the energy burden of breaching the lower Snake River dams in the near future. It's a perfect time to bring in Andrew Bartline because, Andrew, I know you looked into this. Not everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, that would include some power providers and at least one from our congressional delegation. That'd be Congressman Russ Fulcher. He joined 3 other Northwest representatives to pen a letter directly to President Joe Biden. But we'll start with that initial leaked document in the first place. And on that first page, it cites a 2022 National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration report. You probably know them as the NOAA. It concluded, quote, the hydro system is a primary limiting factor in the recovery of 10 of the 16 salmon and steelhead stocks in the interior Columbia River Basin. And 7 of those stocks are at risk of extinction. Again, that's according to the report. The document further says breaching the dams is a potential solution to that problem. And it adds the federal government is committed to creating a Pacific Northwest Tribal Energy Program. That'll make sense in a moment, but the feds essentially will offer this new organization assistance, planning, and funding to create clean energy in that region. So what would the goal of this potential new organization be? Well, by page 4, it becomes quite clear. The document says the feds will account for replacement power. So in the event that dams are breached, that's a lot of loss, a massive loss of energy that there would be a gap. You'd have to make that up. So they would do it by creating new projects and renewable energy systems in the area. The feds would calculate if it would be enough to replace the dams if that's needed. And it's that style of language throughout the document that got the attention of Representative Fulcher and other Northwest representatives. The group wrote to President Biden to remind him that he needs Congress's support to breach those dams in the first place. And the letter has a laundry list of concerns and questions. We'll give you those abbreviated highlights right here. So first, 1, can the federal government legally do this? In this case, the Pacific Northwest Tribal Energy Program. Can they create that organization? The second piece of it, did the government seek any other scientific data or research outside that NOAA data that they cite? The third piece of this, where's that money coming from to fund this? 4, did you consult regional power providers and the impacts this could have? And then 5, is your mind officially made up? And will the federal government continue to push breaching dams if they don't get congressional support? Well, the White House has not publicly answered these questions quite yet, and that letterhead date is nearly a week old at this point. Fulcher's office says they are not commenting further at this time, and they are choosing to let stakeholders speak for themselves. And that includes a local power provider, or local power providers, I should say, and trade associations. They say this would negatively impact their businesses, their customers, their clients. And a statement from Benton Rural Electric Association, it's a company out of Prosser, they're a nonprofit actually. They sum it up quite well with their concerns. They say, quote, the lack of transparency and dialogue the U.S. government has had with the region and state is concerning. The exclusionary process and costs resulting from these secret negotiations could have a profound impact on energy prices in the Pacific Northwest. They say it would be forcing electric bills of U.S. ratepayers living in the region to skyrocket. So to be clear, nothing here is finalized or set in stone, but these are multi-purpose dams. And local agriculture depends on them too, Joe. We talked with a Whitman County farmer in eastern Washington. That's the highest wheat-producing county in the country. He says 80% of their wheat moves along the river. If you breach those dams, they have to use trucks, they have to use trains, and they say that's just not as cost-effective, and they argue that it might be worse for the environment too. So again, it's a conversation, but it looks that the federal government is prepared for a post-Snake River Dam Northwest if they so choose to breach.
Yeah, and you just highlighted in your report, a very complicated and intricate situation with a lot of domino effects. So it'll also depend on who the president is likely in the next election. So a lot for us to follow here on the 208. Andrew, appreciate you diving into that today.